here's why. Here's the fantasy stock profile as produced by the Wolf, which I'm going to read back and forth with him on for Pat Mahomes, quarterback, Kansas City Chiefs. Go ahead, Wolf.
And as always, we were using the fantasy stock formula to run down this list. And we're going to start at the top with the most important thing, individual talent. And that's his strength. Got a cannon for his right arm. Mahomes slings the ball all over the field and possesses top 5 raw arm strength in the league. There's not a throw that this guy can't deliver. And he's doubly dangerous considering that Mahomes is also very mobile in and out of the pocket, giving him the escapability to extend plays and buy his explosive cast of weapons even more time to streak down the field. Can't wait to talk about those weapons in a second. But more so, Mahomes loses minimal velocity while he's on the move or forced to throw from different angles. He can kind of move around and just sling the ball just right off his wrist from any angle, which is crazy. And he just uses this to crank him through tight windows and throw his wide receivers open. He's confident, he's competitive, he's fearless, has a swagger that just kind of commands respect from his teammates. And he flashed all these traits in this one lone game of NFL action against Denver, a ballsy road win, despite playing with nearly no starting weapons. Saw all that talent on display. Can't wait to see it in a full season.
All right, but let's take a couple steps back because unless you're talking about Antonio Brown or something, they're not all strengths. There's going to be a couple weaknesses here and there. And on the negative side, Mahomes' big arm and assertiveness can get him into trouble at times. He has a little bit of a knack for forcing the big play. I mean, we love the big play in fantasy, but when you force the big play, sometimes you see poor decisions that results in interceptions, turnovers, strip sacks, stuff like that. And this is certainly something to take into consideration when you're talking about Pat Mahomes. He entered the league raw in terms of pocket passing. He has to prove he's capable of finding his rhythm within Andy Reid's timing-based West Coast scheme. He certainly has the arm for it. Ideally, a year of riding the pine, learning under both Reid, arguably the best quarterback mentor in the game right now, and Alex Smith, who is the quarterback of Washington now. The consummate professionalism in his approach and the ball security on the field is going to quell these more mental-based concerns. The physical tools are all here. This is a special kind of dominance potentially for Pat Mahomes next year at quarterback.
Yep, 25 out of 30 for talent score. Then we look at usage, and I give him a nice 23 out of 25. Reid's ranked in the top half of the league in pass attempts, well over half of his season's calling plays. Moreover, he's going to maximize Mahomes' mobility, as he did with Donovan McNabb and even Alex Smith on rollouts, RPOs, designed QB runs. Even when his team is up, Reid's notorious for keeping his foot on the passing game gas pedal, even to a fault sometimes. And Mahomes should log at least 35 or so attempts every week, alongside 5 to 8 weekly carries. Good creative usage in addition to a lot of it. So love where Andy Reid fits into that.
Let's talk about surrounding talent. You can earn as many as 15 in this category, and Mahomes gets them all. I mean, we love the talent on the Chiefs. You guys have heard me talk up Tyreek Hill like crazy. Obviously, we were early in on Kareem Hunt. If healthy, the Chiefs are going to roll out arguably the most explosive attack in the entire league. Hear that again. Arguably the most explosive attack in the entire league. They're going to have Tyreek Hill at wide receiver and Sammy Watkins. I don't love Watkins, but we'll see. I mean, it's possibly he's going to blow up under this, under this scheme. And as a wide receiver too, I mean, the guy is definitely, you got to take him seriously. Travis Kelce, let's not forget about tight end. I mean, this is, at worst, the third best tight end in the league, maybe better. He's going to be terrorizing the seams. Kareem Hunt, running back, rumbling out of the backfield. He is a rumbler, too. That guy's a hard runner. Even before adding Watkins, Kansas City's pass catchers led the NFL with an average of nearly 4 yards of separation on their receptions. That's crazy. You give me 4 yards on, one of these guys, I might even win a race against him. And Watkins, for all his durability and consistency woes, remains one of the top burners in the league. Mahomes has the weaponry to attack every layer of the field. His arm strength and mobility will ensure that he does just that. Expect this offense to be a complete juggernaut with Mahomes as the centerpiece engine and dominant fantasy producer.
Coaching scheme, 10 out of 10. Another perfect score here. Because unlike his late game play calling, Andy Reid's offensive genius cannot be questioned. In 19 years of calling plays, Reid's ranked in the top half of scoring 15 of those 19 times, including 11 top 10 finishes. The passing game has always been his offensive backbone, with Reid's West Coast offense recording top 10 passing yards and TDs 9 different times. He's regarded as one of the league's top QB developers as well. His West Coast scheme features high percentage horizontal base based route concepts that ideally maximize yak opportunities and minimize turnovers. Yet, you talk about Mahomes and that cannon arm. Alex Smith last year led the NFL in deep yardage and deep passer rating in 2018. So that suggests that Reid's embracing more vertical concepts as well. Again, Mahomes, cannon arm. If he continues to work in those vertical-based routes as well as those high-percentage West Coast offense, just going to be an unbelievable scheme for Mahomes to flourish and dominate just as Alex Smith did last year.
All right, let's talk about risk. 10 you can get in risk, and Mahomes, there's risk there. We're not going to lie. He gets a 6 out of 10 in risk, and here's why. Despite the high grades in nearly every stock score category, Mahomes is not without risk. He entered the league raw, and while he appropriately rode the bench almost all last season, only time is going to tell if this was enough refinement to get the obviously great results that we're hoping for. There's a chance his 2017 flashes of greatness will remain just flashes. Mahomes could struggle for consistency, leaving this offense a powder keg that's never truly ignited. It hurts me to even read that. However, I expect the exact opposite. This is the Wolf's words, not mine, but I happen to agree with him. He's so naturally gifted, surrounded by incredible talent. Under the highest quality tutelage, I expect Mahomes only to continue ascending. This incredible situation combined with his leg points will facilitate enough weekly yards and scores to buoy out any multi-pick duds. He'll be a top 12 quarterback performer far more often than not.
And upside, to balance out that, the risk might be 6 out of 10. The upside's 10 out of 10. Mahomes' situation's eerily similar to fellow sophomore signal caller Deshaun Watson.
Eerily.
Who was very eerily. He was a fantasy cheat code in his 2017 appearances, and both possess those incredible physical gifts. Mahomes has even more arm talent, in my opinion. Both have the mobility to buy time for their explosive surrounding casts. Both will be in pass-happy attacks that should put up oodles of points. Mahomes just should have plenty of contests above 25 to 30 fantasy points and rarely dip below 19 to 20, considering the talent around him and the added leg points he'll gain as a runner. Just so much upside if everything pans out. And that's how I feel it's going to happen. So total stock score, we got 89 out of 100. Nice B+. Want to hit us with the bottom line, Nat?
Yeah, the bottom line is, with a cannon arm, a stellar deep cast to sling to, and a historically dominant play caller and quarterback guru all on his side, Mahomes has the ingredients to be a genuine season winner in 2018. This is especially true considering this limitless ceiling comes at like a 10th round or higher price. Alex Smith was a top 5 quarterback in this setup last year. Alex Smith. Seriously, come on. Mahomes has far more arm talent, and now he has Sammy Watkins at his disposal as well. So to me, that's a no-brainer. This offense is unstoppable on paper, and I know it's not, the games aren't played on paper, but still, it's unstoppable on paper. It counts for something. Mahomes is going to be the engine for this juggernaut. Even if he hits a few speed bumps in his development and decision-making, there's enough talent all around to keep the floor and ceiling both very high. You should be very comfortable. If we're looking at the Wolves' ceiling projection, 4,300 pass yards, 400 rush yards, 35 total TDs, 5 rushing, 12 picks. Floor projection, not bad. 3,900 passing yards, 250 rushing yards, 22 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, 16 picks. Still not bad for a guy you could snag that late.